Welcome back, everyone, to Dialogue, the analog dialogue on analog sources and hi-fi reproduction. Well, today we're going to go a little bit off topic, what I'm generally going to do in the next months and the next videos. I want to talk about the top 5 analog versus digital sources. So first, I'm going to discuss the 5 top analog sources overall. Then we'll take a look at the top 5 digital sources. After that, we'll take a look at my overall top 5 analog and digital sources mixed, which means the best sources available today. Let's start. Okay, we'll start from the last position, starting from the analog list. Well, position number 5 is occupied by 8-track cassettes. Now, I don't have any. You can see an example here. They do sound pretty good, but there was something extremely tied to portability. They were used in cars mainly to have a portable source of music before cassettes, CDs, MP3s, etc. in a car. So that's why they became famous and so wide distributed, at least during the 70s, I would say mainly. In 4th position, we have audio cassettes. Yes, the typical cassettes that we've been using during the 80s and mainly during the 90s. Well, they're subdivided in 4 types. You can find them around all over the internet and YouTube. I don't have to go through them. Let's just say that the main type 1, the so-called ferro, is the one occupied by all of the pre-recorded cassettes, which means all the music albums that we know. Only a few types go in the second type, which is the chrome type. Obviously, the chrome cassettes are much better quality, but rarely they were used with pre-recorded cassettes as this one. This is just a normal ferro type, the type 1 cassette. Going up the scale, this list, we have type 4 cassettes, metal cassettes, the best of the best. Unfortunately, these are very expensive, so they were used mainly to record own personal music or data or whatever. They were very rarely used for pre-recorded music albums. So I guess the tops of the tops did not reach the music market as we know it. Position number 3. Now here finally we're starting to get close to the real good analog source audiophile high fidelity reproduction. In 3rd position we find reel-to-reel tapes. Not all reel-to-reel tapes actually. So in this case, this is as you can see, the tape is coming off. This is a 7.5 inch per second reel-to-reel tape, 4 tracks, which means there were 2 tracks on this side, then you flipped it over, you put it back in something like that, and you will listen to it on the other side as well, almost like an audio cassette. Well, the sound of these is amazing. I would say, if you have a proper setup, reel-to-reel tape deck, the sound is practically as good or better, I would say sometimes better, than vinyl reproduction. It depends from the tape, from your machine, from your setup. You know, that's why we're here. That's why we have this channel. Excellent stuff. Great stuff. Okay, so next on our list, in 2nd position, we could say we have the record section. There are a few typologies and variabilities. Let's take a look at them. First, obviously, we have the classic vinyl record at a 33 1/3 speed. Obviously, we all know how good these are. I hope you do. And this is probably the most popular format, which wins for this reason. You can find anything now more than ever on vinyl. So this is probably the tops of the tops in terms of distribution and quality, the perfect compromise. Now, besides these, as I said, 33 1/3 rounds per minute, that's how fast a record spins. After that, we have 45 rounds per minute, which usually have this kind of format, the singles. as we know. Usually from an album was taken 1, 2, it depends, 3, sometimes only a single, which was meant to kind of promote the author, the artist, and an upcoming album. In this section, remember that we're going from the worst to the best. In this section, we also have large types of records in this type of speed, which is 45 rounds per minute. Like in this example, which is a special edition, an audiophile edition of Phoné, pressed in 496 copies of Dr. Powell. This type of record is pressed with a speed of 45 rounds per minute, which means incredible dynamics, mainly. I mean, that's the major increase in quality. And I must say, they do sound astounding. So this is already a step above, which is rather difficult to find. I mean, they do special editions, like Analog Productions did special editions for the Doors recently, which sound incredible. And classical music, jazz, usually get their 40 RPM versions. I mean, special stuff. At the top of our second position, we have shellac. Yes, Victrolas. Well, 78 rounds per minute, that's the speed of Victrolas, is a very high speed, actually. Now, this is a beautiful songbook with all the Negro sinful songs of Lead Belly. And as you can see here, we have a collection of different kinds of shellacs. Well, someone might say, but these are old. How can that be a high quality? Well, that's true. But if someone would start again doing shellac records with a 78 round per minute speed, we would have astonishing quality. I mean, something incredibly good to hear. The only disadvantage, though, is that on one side, there's practically one song, maybe sometimes 2 songs if they're short. So you keep after going to the machine to turn over your record, which is kind of annoying. So that's why probably this is never going to come back. I mean, the format is excellent, but the amount of music is just too small, unfortunately. But, as I said, top quality audio. That's what we're looking for. And finally, position number 1 at our top analog list sources. Objective list, not personal. That will come afterwards. Well, at the top, the perfect compromise between the amount of material, the speed, etc., is 1/4 of an inch. 2-track, 15 inch per second speed, reel-to-reel tapes. That's the good compromise. Obviously, we have tapes with a thicker, higher type of layer, which can host multiple tracks, like 24 tracks, 4 tracks, 8 tracks, etc., when you have a lot of instruments to record. But this, for the final master or production copy, was the top. This type of speed, 15 or 38 centimeters per second in European standard. And this, it's how a reel-to-reel tape looks. This is an Opus 3 reel-to-reel production, live at the pawn shop with Eva Taylor. And as you can see, not only it's beautiful, a metal reel with nice thick tape, which will last forever, more than CDs, more than records, more than anything if you keep it in a good, cool storage, properly stored. And this, by all means, is the best sounding product. We will talk about reel-to-reel tapes in the future. Don't worry, we'll get back to this. Now we're just doing a top 5 list. Okay then, let's pass to our second list, the digital top 5. Well, here I'm going to have to go a little more in a personal opinion, since there are so many digital sources, so it's kind of difficult to say an objective top 5. Well, at the bottom line, in position number 5, I think that HD CDs deserve a position. What are those? It's a normal CD, but with a special kind of encoding developed by Pacific Microsonics. The high definition CD compact disc is It has similar characteristics, as I said. It has a 44.1 kilohertz encoding with 16 bytes, exactly like a normal CD. If you have a proper machine to decode that signal, I must say that the sound quality is pretty good. Very, very good. It's difficult to find now some CDs with this encoding. And as I said, you have to have a player or an amplifier which is capable, one or the other, not both, otherwise you're going to have some problems, capable of doing that. I, for example, have a modified Audiocom Signature Oppo 105D, which is able to do this, and I must say in a very good way. Indeed. In fourth position, we have a DAT, or DAT, how we say in Europe, which is a tape, actually, but with a digital signal recorded on it. I'm not very familiar with this format. They're very popular. They're still used in a professional environment, and I must say that I heard sometimes a few of these recordings, and as always, and with a proper setup, they are very, very good. In our third position, we have Super Audio CDs and Blu-ray audio CDs. Actually, Blu-ray discs. A Super Audio CD, or SACD, was developed around the late 90s, early 2000s. They never got popular, and the distribution was low. You can still find a few of them on eBay, on the internet. Excellent quality, but still nothing very astonishing in my opinion. In second position, we have one of my favorite digital formats. I must say, I don't know why, I do have an example for this, because I love them. DVD audio. The quality on this, I must say, is incredible. I mean, if I should burn all of my analog sources, stuff, material here around, I would go for these. I have no idea why, because it is a spinning format subject to all those problems as jitter, etc., etc. But the sound, like for example this album of Ellis and Thomas Jobim, it's incredible. I mean, the quality that they were able to transport from the tapes, the original master analog tapes, remember, analog, to the DVD is amazing. So try them if you haven't. Obviously, you need a player with a DVD audio capability. First position, I have to put HD tracks. Not all of them are good. That's a pure digital format tied to no support, if not your computer or music server. And obviously, they're free from any kind of issues related to a material format, as I said, jitter and vibrations, anything you can think of, the clock. So HD tracks with the proper recording. Remember, all recording come from an analog source, except for synthesizers or things like that. But music instruments are acoustic. Voice is an analog source that goes through microphones, which are analog. Then they're converted to digital. We'll come back to this. It's an important aspect of digital music. So in top position, HD tracks. Well, now that we're done taking a look at the top 5 digital and top 5 analog music sources, we can move on and see the overall top 5 digital versus analog list. At the bottom line in position number 5, I put the HD tracks, which can be in PCM or DSD, as we said. They're good, but in my opinion, they're at the bottom of this special kind of list. Position number 4 holds the DVD audio. Again, this has to be the maximum quality. Linear PCM, 192 kilohertz by 24 bits. In third position, we find reel-to-reel tapes, 1/4 inch, 4 tracks, 7.5 inch per second. In second position, we have vinyl records. First 45 round per minute, and then after that, obviously our beloved 33 1/3 round per minute. And at the top of our list is obviously, you guessed it, reel-to-reel tapes, 1/4 inch, 2 tracks, 15 inch per second, or 38 centimeters per second in European terms. Well, that's our overall top 5. You might agree with this list, and tell us what you think about this in the comments below. Well, Thank you all guys for watching. Thumbs up if you appreciated this. I hope to see you again on this channel. More videos are upcoming, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.